The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us, and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
My team reached out to the White House to fulfill a commitment I made to New Yorkers over the course of this campaign, a commitment that showed a willingness to meet with anyone and everyone, so long as it was to the benefit of the 8.5 million people that call the city their home. And I will go to make the case to the president and to anyone, frankly, that these are the kinds of things we need to change if we want to make it easier for New Yorkers and for Americans to afford the day-to-day necessities of their life.
Welcome back to Inside City Hall. That was President Trump yesterday saying that he plans to meet with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani soon. And as we told you earlier, Mamdani today said that his team has reached out to the White House to help set up that meeting. Joining me now to talk about that and much more are the members of this week's Consultants Corner. Democratic consultants Tess McRae and Austin Shafran are both here with us. Good to see both of you. You never say never, but I'm thinking this is not going to be a bromance when these two get together.
Probably not. I mean, I think it's important to know that Trump's exact words is he would like to meet with me, right? So, classic Trump positioning the power around himself. You know, I think it's interesting. I always think of the line from Hamilton of winning is easy and governing is harder, right? So this is the time where Zohran Mamdani is stepping in as mayor-elect, soon to be mayor. He has a real threat with Donald Trump saying he's going to ramp up ICE presence, deny New York funds, et cetera, et cetera. But, I think on the other end, to consider what Trump could get out of this is Trump is talking about Epstein yet again. He is not doing so well in terms of public favor. So I can't imagine that he wants tanks rolling down Fifth Avenue, ICE police continuing to be caught on footage with, gator masks on. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of I think negative backlash that comes from that. So I think if he can, of course, always on Trump's terms, make it look like he's cooperating a little bit with the mayor.
I mean, the chaos is deliberate, though, right? I mean, they're not accidentally jumping out of helicopters while the cameras are rolling and doing needless raids that yield no arrests, which is what they did in Chicago.
No, it seems to all be very well staged and very well choreographed. Look, I think this is a brilliant move by the mayor-elect to reach out. He's obviously staked out a very strong platform, a very strong affordability agenda, and very strong feelings about how he's going to defend and protect New York against massive deportations, cuts, militarization, deployment coming to our city. And you can either figure out a way to work with the president or work around the president. Either way, getting a chance to meet with him, understand the intentions, and play into the theater a little bit could probably be beneficial for both the mayor-elect and, to extent, the president, who's just coming off the longest government shutdown in the history of the country.
Yeah, we shall see. Let's talk about the current mayor for a minute. He's in Israel right now. We just got word that he's going to be leaving from there and going to Uzbekistan. But I wanted to bring up something that he said while he was I believe he was still in Tel Aviv. He says, if I were a Jewish New Yorker, I'd be concerned about my children. He said, everything is not fine. And he said, the Free Palestine movement was never about land. It was about the destruction and eradication of Jewish people. We are going to have to live with whatever divisions there are. It doesn't sound like the mayor is trying to heal any of those right about now.
No, not at all. I think, if anything, he's making a very clear point to the mayor-elect. I think should be noted that going back to the primary, Zohran Mamdani was asked if he would take the, almost traditional visit to Israel that often New York City mayors will do, and he said he wouldn't. He wanted to focus on what was going on back at home. What's clear is one of the more effective attacks that was made against Zohran Mamdani was that he was too to the left on Israel and what's been going on in Gaza. So it is intentional. I think it is to make a very clear point, and I think it is certainly to sow a little bit of distrust in the mayor-elect. I don't know how effective the messenger is in this, Mayor Eric Adams.
You got to wonder about that. I mean, what's in it now for? I mean, I guess you just have to assume that this is just truly what he believes, because there's no political advantage whatsoever between now and the remaining, whatever, 40 days of his mayoralty.
Or that he's auditioning for his next job on Fox and Friends, and he's going to be making the commentator roundtables and circles, and that's probably a position he's going to be in. He's going to be the on-air critique of the new administration, and he's drawing the battle lines. He's making it clear that, you know, if you say this, you're for this person, you're against this. He's definitely continuing to fan the flames in a way that he probably wouldn't have appreciated an outgoing mayor saying about him. It certainly isn't doing anything to tamp down some of the hostility that we've seen at both sides, and it's an unfortunate situation because I don't think it benefits anyone to have this level of hostility coming into a new administration.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the whole idea of an election was, you know, yes, we aired a lot of these issues. We certainly reported on it. We talked about it during the debates, and then we put it to a vote. And New Yorkers decided they wanted to go in a particular direction. Yeah. You know, I mean, we're all going to have to learn to live with that, including Eric Adams, right?
Yeah, but I mean, also Eric Adams was someone who decided he wasn't going to run in the primary because he couldn't win in a primary and ran on a third-party line, as did Andrew Cuomo. And then he stepped down for Andrew Cuomo to win. And here we are with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani.
Okay, let's take a short break. I've got more to talk about with these consultants. We'll do that in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the official MLB store. Visit the New York City flagship store today across from Radio City Music Hall.
Imagine if every corner of your countertop was as impressive as that corner. Where the only thing better than the book is the espresso. Where one battery can take you to unexpected places. And winning back the title of family favorite salsa can be done with just a twist. Because there are kitchens, and then there's KitchenAid.
That was close.
Santa?
Oh, hello.
I'm okay.
Aldi just saved the holiday spirit.
I'm okay. Carry on.
Shop Aldi first. Save money and save the holidays. It's an Aldi thing.
After the crash, I'm wondering, am I dying? And what about my kids? After the surgeon predicting a long and difficult recovery, and the terrifying thought that my job and livelihood were gone, you just don't think it can happen to you.
The law firm of Pena & Con has successfully advocated for the rights of thousands of accident victims. So talk to us by calling 1-888-736-2298 or learn more at penacon.com.
Work for the city of New York and buried in copays? Maybe you're on the wrong healthcare plan. Metro Plus Health Gold is the only health plan for city employees with $0 copays, premiums, and deductibles. Pay $0 for over 100 everyday medications, plus up to $5,000 per year in added benefits. So stop seeing dollar signs every time you need care. Switch to Metro Plus Health Gold, the right health plan for New York City employees.
Weather on the Ones is brought to you by Episcopal Health Services. Your birth, your team, your moment. Schedule your tour at www.ehs.org/labor.
Welcome back to Inside City Hall, where I am once again joined by my Consultants Corner. We have two Democratic consultants, Tess McRae and Austin Shafran. There are a whole bunch of challenges to sitting Democratic lawmakers. Chiose has opened an account. He's widely expected to at least consider challenging Hakeem Jeffries for his congressional seat. Michael Blake, the former assemblyman running against Richie Torres up in the Bronx. Alexa Aviles, endorsed by the Democratic Socialists of America, running against Dan Goldman. Even Grace Meng has a challenger. Is this a Democratic circular firing squad? What's going so wrong that all of these people are getting challenged?
Well, I think, you know, serial killers aren't the only ones that have copycats. We see it in politics. Someone was successful. Zohran Mamdani set the mold. A lot of people think he may have broken the mold because he probably did it better than anyone we've seen in generations. And now you're going to see a lot of far, far left DSA socialist candidates thinking, I can pull off the same thing on a more local stage, whether it's Congress or in a city or state municipal election. They're going to try to get the gang back together and have be the same change agent that Zoran was.
On the other hand, we already came through a citywide campaign about affordability. You're going to have to sort of cast around and look for some issues, or would it be the same issues that they might run on?
It'd probably be the same issues, but you're right. When you have a primary challenge against an incumbent, you need a very clear message as to why this incumbent is the right choice. So if we go back to 2018, AOC ran against Joe Crowley, chair of the Queens Democratic Party, a powerhouse in D.C. Her case was, this man doesn't even live here. He's in Virginia half the time. He doesn't know the Bronx. He doesn't come to the Bronx. And that was very clear to voters. Yeah, I don't see this man around. I don't know anything about him. We're not going to vote for him. So if you can't make that clear line of why this incumbent is not right, it's going to be an uphill battle.
And that was almost heaven sent, right? I mean, that was like a perfect case study, because more of the votes were on the Bronx side, and yet here's the Queens leader who's representing the district. That's not true, though, for Hakeem Jeffries.
No, but you can see a similar analysis by Chiosei being made. This is someone who, very much like Joe Crowley, is in line for the top leadership position in all of Congress. And you could see Chiosei saying, not only isn't he representing our district well, doesn't he have a consistent and compassionate presence, but he's too caught up in the politics of Washington to be able to actually change it. And very much like Zoran, I'm someone who's going to come in and be able to shake things up in the right way, in the way that folks in our community need to see them.
Now, interestingly, Mamdani apparently has indicated to Chiosei, maybe let this one go, right? Which I guess complicates the effort to make that case.
Because it does, and because Hakeem Jeffries, even though it was late, and even though it wasn't a glowing endorsement shouted from the rooftops, there was an endorsement. There was some unity behind, Mayor-elect Mamdani, as he was late in the game, the Democratic nominee. You can see someone like Mayor-elect wanting to avoid a lot of the political messiness, especially when he's going to need help on the state level and on the federal level to get his affordability agenda done. And having someone like Hakeem Jeffries facing a heated primary from someone that the mayor needs to work with on a daily basis in the city council doesn't present well for him. And anything he could probably do to help avoid that situation would be to his advantage.
Dan Goldman has been frequently on this program, but also doing a lot of media. I mean, he's a former prosecutor. He's he's one of the people who worked on the impeachment of Donald Trump. He's got a lot to say about national issues. Why is he getting a challenge?
I think it's a similar tone. I think people feel right now that the sort of mainstream Democrat is not doing enough. Voters are frustrated. Polling shows like incumbents are not really popular right now. Neither party is really popular. Democrats doing a little bit better. And I think it's a similar argument. You know, we can make this about progressive populist issues the way Zoran did. Cosplaying, I don't know if that's like the most effective way to get to a victory. We'll see. But I think it's all kind of, like you said, copycats, exactly.
Now, don't they all run the risk of, I mean, as far as I can tell, the big story going into 2026 is going to be, for us at least, the governor's race, for sure. But then also, control of Congress, right? Yeah. So that Democratic primaries don't necessarily contribute to that, other than to make it a little bit less likely that Democrats might win control of the House. But other than that, it seems like it's going to be an uphill battle for any of these challengers to really get a lot of traction as far as the main media narrative.
It is, but that doesn't stop any of them from thinking, I can be the next one. I can be the next AOC. I can be the next Zoran Mamdani. Look, and if they think that they're going to be able to weaponize one single particular issue against any of the incumbents, then they're probably thinking wrong. What Zoran did better than anyone was he had a message that reached a broad base of voters, that pulled people in, the attractiveness, the compassion, and the authenticity of, I understand what you're going through here. Affordability is an issue for all of us, and we got to fix it together. That's different than just attacking someone, weaponizing the Israel-Palestine conflict and things like that. So they need to be learning from those successes.
Yeah, I mean, as we just heard from Maurice Katz, I don't know what lessons people are taking, but as he said, telling people a simple story, putting them in the center of it, and saying that the whole system is broken, that it's not just this or that policy or even this or that politician, but that it's a system that we have to change. Anyhow, thank you both so much for your insights. Great talking with you. That is going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you at home for watching, and have a great evening. We'll see you next time inside City Hall.